interviewer her name is Michelle, and she's going to ask a few questions within the spiritual realm. I don't know what her questions are going to be, so this makes it more exciting. Welcome, Michelle.
Hi.
All right. Okay, so we can get started here.
My first question is, what happens when they take their own life? Are they on like the same journey?
That's a really good question. That's been asked quite a few times. Yes. So with the person who has taken their own life, many of us do believe that, you know, they don't go to heaven because it's such a bad thing they've done. It is not. We are such beautiful, beautiful, pure souls. Our human behavior that does not dictate as to where we should be going as a soul. It is a life learning. Of course, it turns into a karmic energy for the next life. So to answer your question, they go to heaven. They do. Every soul has a will, and it is, if it's their will to go straight to heaven, then it is their will to go straight to heaven. So what happens is that we go through a life review, and with the life review, we're able to see without judgment from our own point of view, but then we're also able to see through another person's point of view. So let's say I wronged many people, and I'm going to feel their actions when I do my life review. I'm going to feel what they went through. So for a person that has gone home, they created a lot of karmic energy that they're going to carry into the next life. They may break up that karmic energy in order to overcome it. So as one passes through the veil, when they leave their physical body and they step into the spiritual body, they are always greeted. They always have somebody with them, their spirit guide, right? So let's say the spirit guide and the beautiful soul signed a soul contract together. So now the spirit guide is standing with this beautiful soul who seems to be lingering. They feel like they're lingering. So it's the spirit guide still point of view, the job that they signed up to do is to stay with them, to help see. So opening doors as they wander, right? Sometimes we do have wanderers, sometimes they head straight to heaven. However, when they do see the light, it is instant. It is absolute instant. So for me, from what I see, every soul that has crossed over on the account of their own accord, they do make it to the heavenly realms. They absolutely do.
That's good.
Yeah.
I was wondering that.
Okay, so I hope that answered your question.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
Then, like when you're out in public, is it hard to like turn it off? Are they like, hey?
At first, I love that question. At first, it is. It always was working. Let's say I worked at the Dollarama back in 2010, 11. I would see people walking around the corner and I have to run down because I wanted to see if it was real or not. It does throw me off, definitely distraction. So what I didn't realize is that I wasn't doing the inner work. I wasn't speaking that I have control over it. It became a lot easier and manageable once I started the I am statements and stating that I have control over my gifts, right? The gifts don't have control of me. I have control over the gifts. We work in unison, right? We work together in love and light. So it really, really helps and makes a big difference. Sometimes at night, however, I will get them popping right into my face and it's like, hey, can we talk? It's like, nope, not today, not right now. I'm trying to get some sleep. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. It is.
Do they ask you for help?
Yes, they do. And that's where I get them coming in the middle of the night. I don't know who for, but I do talk to them and let them know, okay, I hear you, I acknowledge you, but now is not the time. They instantly say, okay, they're gone. It's like poof, they're gone. And once I speak my will, they're gone. I used to, before I got before I had control over what I have, the beautiful gifts that I have, I was scared at night. I was scared to let my feet hang off the bed. It was that bad. You know, I was scared to close the door. I needed the hallway light on. I needed light because I didn't know. I was fear. It was
Yeah.
definitely fear of the unknown. And I had every right to, because growing up, I had taps turning on in front of me. They even turned off. I asked them to turn it off. They turned it off in front of me. And it was one of the most freakiest things ever. Um, I had closet doors fall on my legs in the middle of the night. They're banging on the door, trying to get my attention. I had spoons in the kitchen sink moving, like somebody was doing this. And as I stood there, it was still moving. I could see the spoons and the cutlery, everything moving in the sink. I have people whispering in my ear as I walk. I have people knocking. I had people saying, "Hey," at the foot of my bed. Right. So it's like, hey, and I can see their full on body. I'm like, it's not an apparition. It's like I can see it, though they were really standing there.
Mhm.
And that was before I stepped into the control part of stating. And I cannot express enough how strong or how powerful your words are. You literally do create your reality. You create the power that you are just by stating it. I will be done. It's an absolute statement.
Um, how old were you when you first had your first experience?
The one that I remember was when I was 6 years old. So in that story, I didn't say that my brother was beside me, but he was beside me. We were sleeping. I think I was 6. He's he was 7, so he's like 11 months older than me. We were 6 and 7 sleeping on the bed. So to add more to the story that I posted on YouTube already on my page, I was 6 and I can hear somebody walking. It was like an elder sliding, like their feet. I can hear it all the way from the living room, from that area coming all the way into my room, into our room. Now we had 2 separate beds, but because we were very open, because my brother's a medium as well, and he's just learning to get and come into his gifts. I was laying, I was laying in bed and I can hear it. So I'm like fully awake, and I had the sheet. We somehow kicked off the blanket, but I pulled the white sheet over my face because I can hear it stop by the bedroom door. And as I looked, I couldn't see anything. So I was like, okay, it's going, it's going, it's going. I had my the sheet over my face like this. And then all of a sudden I heard it enter the room. I'm like, oh no, oh no, oh no. And that's when I started elbowing my brother Vernon. And I was trying to get him up. I was frozen though. I was so scared. I was literally so scared. It stopped right beside my bed and I had the sheet over my face. And it literally grabbed the sheet and it shook the bed sheet over my face. Man, I was up just like that. I was up against the wall. My brother was beside me. We were both up against the wall, and he's like, "What?" And I said, "There's a ghost." It was so scary. There's little 6, 7 year olds. And then all of a sudden, it's just like we were looking at each other. Then we both looked straight ahead, and then there was the ghost. I could see the full-on apparition. She didn't have no legs. It's just like literally a ghost, like how people would draw them with no legs. It was like the freakiest thing. I will never forget her face. I will never forget this incident because it's like literally burnt into my memory because it's like the first time I've ever been breathed on by a ghost because I can hear her breathing beside me. First time she said I was ever touched by a ghost. First time I've seen a ghost. And it was the freakiest thing because as it came towards me, my brother he saw it. He actually saw what I was seeing. And the ghost came, and then we both watched it come towards us, and our heads kind of followed it. And it stopped and it hovered right in our faces, like literally hovered like this close to me. And then, of course, we screamed and we just hightailed it through. There's a closet. We have a walk-through closet from that bedroom to my parents' bedroom. So we ran through so friggin' fast. And when we got into our parents' room, we both jumped over. And of course, they weren't quite happy. They weren't happy because they woke up, you know, we woke them up in such a dramatic way. My brother was sent to go sleep with our older brothers in the room, and then I got to stay snuggle in the back of mom. And this is where I fell asleep on my arm because I didn't want to move. After everything settled down, I heard that ghost come from my bedroom, the way the slippers dragging on the floor, and then it came all the way to my parents' room. It couldn't come through the door. I don't know what was with that room, but it couldn't come through that door. So I laid there and I fell asleep on my arm. I heard it, and I don't remember the moment that I fell asleep, but I remember the moment waking up. I sat up and my arm was so numb that, you know, it fell asleep because I was laying on it all night. I swear to God, I thought my arm died. I was a little 6-year-old. I didn't know what was going on. But yeah, that was the first time. It was pretty interesting. It was pretty freaky back then. It's still a little freaky to me now, just knowing how connected I was with this beautiful soul who just wanted to get some messages or try to. I feel as though that she may have been stuck in that form, in that energy. What am I trying to say? Timeline. And to see our light so bright, because my mediumship abilities was definitely turned on right from the get-go. I think from the age of 3, from the last time I remember my past life and coming into this lifetime. It was pretty interesting. Yeah.
And then, like, I don't know if it was an experience I had or what, but when my brother passed away, I was 12, and I remember crying in my bed, and I could feel like someone touching my forehead, and I don't know if that was just a fluke or if it was him, or
Is your gut telling you?
it was him.
Yeah, there you go. So at most times we sit in denial, right? And the truth is staring at us right in the face. We feel that truth within us, but we always dismiss it because that can't be. But you are absolutely correct. It was him. And I can see him as though he was doing that. He calls you sister, sis. I don't know where. Okay, I do feel he's here. It just comes with what I do, and he's here and he's saying that he's pretty proud of you. He's absolutely proud of you. He's saying that you are the game changer. It feels like you're the game changer in the family, is what he's saying. And he does that quite often, especially when you're up and about doing. Did something happen when you were vacuuming?
Everything happens all the time. I hear knocking, I hear all sorts of stuff.
Okay, because it looks like you were vacuuming or you had something in your hand and you were cleaning the living room. And it's almost as though he kept saying, hey, hey, like he's here with you. He wants to let you know that he's here with you, there with you. Thank you, there with you. Always. He says he's going to show himself to you, whether this is through dreams or I feel like it's in your awakened state that he's going to come in. He's going to come in. So again, it was a good question that you asked, you know, was I just making it up or was it real? You know, I don't know who it was. Well, when you ask yourself that question, who was the first person that came to mind? And it was his face, right? It was his face that I saw when you asked that question. It was instant. I could see you connecting with him. So from this moment on, you know that it's always going to be him at this point until you start, because he's here now. He's a spiritual warrior for you. He is here to help you overcome a lot of these challenges and obstacles. And it's absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. You are moving in the direction that you were meant to move into. The pace is perfect. So everything is coming to that aha kind of moment. And I believe that when you ask these questions, you get your answers. You get your answers. You get the answers. So let go of self-doubt and just know. Again, I do feel as though he does this to you quite often as well. It's pretty amazing. He's always trying to connect with you. I don't know what it is. Were you, it's like when you were vacuuming, he's still showing me that an image. I don't know what but it's like he made a connection with you at that point. Were you thinking about him at a moment you were cleaning the living room?
Yeah, I think about him all the time.
Okay. He's really bringing that up. He said, love ya, sis. He did this. Love ya, sis. Beautiful. You're very
Okay.
cherished. He says, thank you for all the prayers. Thank you for the thoughts. And the questions that you ask now, you can, gives you that sense of peace.
Mhm.
He said, thank you for those questions. That's beautiful.
And numbers, lots of numbers.
Love it, because that's where it's showing you that you are on your path, the synchronicities, right? You're on your the journey that you are on. Look up numerology too. I hear numerology is going to help you when you see it. Look up numerology. The synchronistic numbers that I see, I don't know if you're seeing 911 all the time. I think it's 911 and 711. Look up those angel numbers. Like 711 on the clock, and then 911 on the clock. I see those come up quite a bit for you. Does that make sense? Okay,
Yes.
look them up, see what you find. Yeah. He says he sends butterflies for you too as well. Butterflies, a blue one. I see a blue one. Oh.
Yeah, I've had lots of people pass on, and I never know who's who anymore. I just go with the flow, lots of knocking.
So I can't stress enough, meditation is going to help you. Meditation is going to quiet the mind, right? When we quiet the mind, our gifts amplify. And when you're walking with your gifts, you're able to see and just decipher, utilizing your discernment, right? You're going to be able to figure things out, putting pieces of the puzzle together. So the inner work that you're doing and releasing that no longer serves you, you make room for more of the beautiful things that are meant for you, right? Always meant for you. Yeah.
And when people pass on, they're waving to people. Are they waving to the loved ones who have passed on?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah. Especially little ones. So the little ones that come forward and they see them, many of us grew up with, so if you grew up with the word ghost in your vocabulary, definitely tells you that's a telltale sign that you're a medium, right? You're a born medium. Little ones will see, definitely talk. They establish, what do you call that? A ghost friend or imaginary friend, imaginary friend, where parents would say it. Most often parents know, but they use the term imaginary friend just to kind of give that piece, because like, they don't know what to do with it, right? But today's day and age, things are coming together quite fast, right? So a lot of the parents are learning about the esoteric world, learning about the spiritual realm, right? And then you leading by example for your little ones, right? Nieces and nephews, because the little ones that are born, are being born at this moment, little rainbow babies, right? They're very spiritual, very highly connected, and we keep that energy moving forward. We're going to be able to really create this beautiful, abundant reality with little warriors, spirit warriors. It's beautiful, beautiful. It is changing. It is changing. Yeah.
Same as colors, they have significant meaning.
They do. Every color. I'm like, what we see now through our human eyes looks pretty blah, right? It can look pretty blah. And when you have those euphoric moments where you feel as though all of a sudden you're just happy and you're just, wow, everything brightens up because chemicals in the brain are starting to, it just starts going off, and we're able to see so much more vibrant colors. The more we step away from what we were yesterday into a better version of who we are today, we amp ourselves up and we start seeing the colors. Colors are alive. We are colors, right? So when spirits come in and see us, they see us as colorful energies, right? Mixture of energies. You've got a very steel blue. Your voice when you speak, I see as though it comes out as blue when you speak. very beautiful color vibrations of blue, very multi-tone colored blue when you speak. So when spirits come and they see us, yes, they see us in forms of energy. They do see us as forms of who we are, but most often because they're looking through the consciousness that we are in the purest form, they'll see energy. So colors are alive. Absolutely.
That's neat.
It is. It is quite beautiful.
And then in your life, how do you know you're on the right path or journey or?
I always say you're always on the right path, right? Always on the path that you've written. You've written it into your soul's plan. It is, so shall it be. Like you literally signed, this is it. You did not sign that you'll ever fall off the path. It just means that you get obstacles coming at you that you're walking. You're always on that right path because whatever is coming to you, you are learning from it now, right? You're going to learn from this challenge, this obstacle. It was placed in front of you for a reason. So everything that's happening in your life was already pre-planned, whether if it's on this side of the spectrum or this other side of the spectrum. So if we're looking at the scale spectrum, anything that's like the rock bottom to, the very high vibration. So again, whatever side of the spectrum it comes and lands on your lap, yeah, you're learning through it. You're taking it in. Makes you stronger. Absolutely. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Perfect. Perfect.
Are they all together, like the family members when they go? Or are they on their own journey? And how long is their journey? I heard an elder say once 7 years or something like that.
It can be. It doesn't necessarily have to be, but if that's the belief, then that's their belief. For me, I know because I know differently. I see it differently is what I'm trying to say. Everybody has their own belief, and that's absolutely beautiful, right? For me, what I see and what I believe in is that they step into the heavenly realms. They're doing their healing journey. So from what Spirit showed me as I do my readings, is that once they transition from the physical into the spiritual, they'll have a loved one there, family members, friends, whoever, they may feel very connected to and that they've been waiting and wanting to see. And it's their will. So when they meet, they cross, and it's usually crossing over is usually a big light that just comes out. And how I hear it is pretty cool. It's like it's really vibration, really, really high vibration. And it is vibrational. And it is very bright. The light is really, really bright. And it is true that it does not hurt the eyes. It's just absolutely beautiful. And I think how I see that light, excuse me, is it's alive. It's so vivid. It's so bright that it doesn't hurt the eyes, right? It's just alive, the color. Or they get to choose either if they want to go through the tunnel, they want to do the heavenly stairs, right? They want to rise up. It's a choice. It is a will through each individual soul. And then after that, they do go through, their spirit guide's always with them. So the spirit guide is not done yet, right? So there's still work in the heavenly realms where they're walking together. They're releasing, they're letting go all the human emotions, because our emotions are so deeply embedded into our souls, our human emotions, that we have to go through a healing journey through the heavenly realms. And it can last. It's so diverse in time frames for each and every soul, right? Again, you are where you are. You are what you believe, right? The amount of time that you need. It's just like when you're going through grief here in the earthly realms. Everybody's different. Everybody takes it differently, works through it differently. Same with the soul. And then at the end of their journey, from what I see, so I only see a certain part, and then I'm being transitioned over on this side. At the end of their journey, they do go through what we call a life review. And the life review is where we feel what was bestowed upon us, all that pain, anger, guilt, shame. without judgment. We don't judge, we just feel and get that understanding. And then also we do another life review where we bestow a lot of that pain, guilt, judging on others, and we feel how we make them feel. Again, without judgment, right? So we're watching it unfold. This is where we hang up our karmic energy, our karmic jacket, so to speak, right? We hang it up until the next time, and we can always alter that karma so we don't take it all on at once, right? So our goal is our aim when we come to this earthly realm is to succeed. Whatever that success is written in your soul's plan. And then at the end of their journey, they show me as though they walk through, I swear it's like a football stadium, or if it's like that Olympic stadium that I showed you in that one video where she walks all the way around and you hear all the cheering. Man, it is so loud, so vibrant, so beautiful. These are all ancestors throughout many, 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 many lives that you may have lived that are cheering. This is it. You crossed the finish line. You did it. You did it. You deserve to have that sit down, grab that margarita, grab whatever drink you want. You can taste it. You can feel it. It's just, it's vibrant.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. Yeah, there you go.
I had like a million questions. And now they're like stuck. Like items moving around, I guess. Yeah, you touched on that. How did you stop it?
By stating it. No more around my energy field. I am protected. It took me a little bit to grasp it though, right? Because learning on my own, I've always been, it's so crazy, you know, I've always been a loner, and I've often wondered why. Growing up, I never fit into cliques. I'd never fit into groups. I would find a friend here and there throughout my lifespan that I clicked with and I kind of held on to, and then eventually, you know, growing apart. But I never fit into huge cliques. It just didn't. I don't know why. I tried. I wanted to. It never worked out for me. Right? And it's learning through different stages of my life. There was a point in time where I became a fighter, physical fighter. I had a lot of anger. I had a lot of deep embedded stuff, you know, overcoming a lot of physical abuse, mental abuse, spiritual abuse, right? Going through the ringer was, it's profound in itself, overcoming a lot of these hardships and obstacles, being a single mother, right? Having 6 children, you know, there's a lot of toughness that's involved. A lot of heartache, a lot of anger I held on to. And once I started doing my healing journey, man, I can't tell you how different I felt with every moment that I let go of an anger. Man, I felt so much lighter. And this is where I started realizing, whoa, I think I have control here. So they're no longer, because what I was holding on to, I was attracting those spirits too as well. So remember, I had my daughter, Ashley, she was, I can't remember how old she was. She was a toddler. I think she was about three or four, around that age. And our closet door, we had those old bifold doors, and one, I couldn't close it, so I just left it there. And the other one I closed closest to the window. The bedroom door here, a bed was right across from the bed, and then the closet. And then I was just putting her to sleep. This is the same place that I saw the spoons moving around, right? So as I was putting her to sleep, I swear, it's just like I heard it like, how do I say this? What is that movie called when they hear a big boof when it hits the wall? That really scary movie. Anyway, get back to it. That's what it sounded like. Like I heard a growl, like I don't know, but it was like a scream coming, like as though it was running. And then all of a sudden I heard it, bang, it hit the bifold door that was left open. And that bifold door, we already jumped by that time. And then by the time the bifold door just landed on our legs, we jumped again and screamed. And my daughter Ashley was up and all over, crawling all over me. So I was like fumbling in the dark, and I was like, holy cow, okay, I need to calm down here because I can hear myself breathing. My heart was in my ears. My daughter's crawling on me, screaming and just panicking and freaking out. I couldn't see anything, and I went running over, and I was feeling for the lights, and I turned it on. Sure enough, that door, it was off the hinges. It was on our bed. So it was like off, and it flew onto our bed. That was so traumatizing that I carried that with me, and I felt as though my friend at the time said, "Oh, that's just so and so. He follows me around." And I was like, "What?" I said, "Well, tell your effing friend to stay away from my daughter and I, you know." And it's just like, because she accepted what was. So this friend, this so-called friend, followed her around everywhere, right? So, and she says that it protects them. So it protected her. And I'm like, oh gosh, okay, I think we need to leave. Because it was her mindset on how she stated it, right? And she was just, you can tell the belief was right there that this was her friend and it protects her. It was a little too scary for us. And I took my daughter and I away from that. Never again. But it was, I'm like, even that memory is pretty embedded, but it doesn't scare me. It doesn't scare me as, I'm not going to say anymore, because I know the fear factor is gone from that. And that whatever that being, that dark energy was, has no room in my life, and it knows not to come because it doesn't like my light, is what I'm going to say. It doesn't like the light that is shining. So when you step into your power, that I am powerful, these negative energies, these negative forces have nothing on me. It's just like, be gone. You have no power here. And the more that you say this over and over, you're rewriting the script, right? All the old ways, you're overcoming the old way of thinking, stepping into the new way of thinking. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. I tend to lose myself when I speak. So if I feel like if I'm off the topic or whatnot, that's just what happens, because I'm like up here and all of a sudden I'm back into that place. So that's what I taught. That's what I say, traveling back in time, because we are time travelers and we often travel back without realizing it. And it's like digging up the past and taking that past back with us. And now we unpacked it in this moment. What do we do with it? Well, let's love that part and let it go, right?
Yes.
Yeah, if that makes any sense.
Do you ever get overwhelmed, like too many people coming in for a person?
Yep, I do. And again, it's all about meditation and control. Meditation and control. Meditation and knowing, just knowing. I'm in the knowing portion of my life right now. So I just know I'm in control. When I first started this 4 years ago, the path that I'm on with lives and whatnot, I used to be so overwhelmed, even in my work, how I structured things, so overwhelmed. So learning again by just doing, right? Well, I learned that did not work for me. Now I'm just totally depleted in energy, right? And still forcing myself. No, that wasn't right. Well, I learned from that. I no longer do that. So now I'm structured in a way where I'm like, okay, I can relax and just have fun, right? So I can turn it off as soon as I leave my office. I'm in the living room. No, that's it, right? But when I have, of course, my children are going through their own spiritual journey, and I love the questions. So when they call and they ask questions and get to gain clarity, yeah, I love it. I love it when people ask questions because they find out so much more. They learn. Yeah, beautiful.
So your children are,
All mediums.
wow.
All mediums. My youngest son, him and I share, I first thought it was like a glitch kind of thing, but our psychic awareness, our psychic abilities, we connect telepathically. We had a few instances where my son came into the kitchen, and I was bending under the counter, and I was looking for garbage bags, and I was getting him to clean up his room. And then I saw him, I physically saw him with my peripherals, him standing there with his 2 feet that I can see by his knees. And he's like, Mom, I'm done. And I said, okay, son, I'll be in there. I'm going to come check in a moment. I'm just trying to find garbage bags here for you. And I heard him say, okay. And I said, just wait 1 sec. I think I found it. And then my daughter Miranda was sitting in the living room on the couch, and she was like, who are you talking to, Mom? I said, Cody. I don't think he can hear you from there. And I said, what do you mean? Oh, did he go back to his room already? I stood up and he was gone. And she goes, what do you mean? He didn't even come out. I said, yeah, he did. He was just standing by the kitchen door here. And she goes, no, Mom, he didn't come out. And I was like, no way. And I walked in down the hallway. I opened up his room and he was just going to come out. And he looked at me standing the exact same way as I saw him. And he said the exact same thing. Mom, I'm done, with that facial expression. And I was just like, did you come out? Did you already tell me this? And I was questioning him. He's like looking at me, no. It was pretty freaky. It was pretty freaky. That was like one of many, him and I interacting in such a way. He would call me from the room and then I would text him from the living room. And I'm saying, what? And he goes, you heard me? I said, yeah. And he goes, I didn't even say it out loud. I said, I was thinking. So yeah, we practice that here.
That's really neat.
It is, yeah. The 3 girls that I connect with, Tony, Miranda, and Ashley, they're all mediums. They're very strong. Miranda takes me onto her dreamland. So when I connect with Miranda, so if we sleep in the same area, when she was growing up, she'd always have to crawl in beside me because she was always wakened by spirits. And she doesn't feel the walls behind her. So she's leaning up against the wall. It feels like she's going to fall back. So when she sleeps beside me, I'm in her dreams, or she takes me off to, my dreams are heightened to the place where I'm actually moving things in my dreams, touching it. I know I'm awake in my dreams when I sleep beside her, when she's growing up. Tony, her and I are energy. So it's like her and I are connecting, we're plugged in, and it's like mimicking how, so if I touch my forehead, she's like, whoa, she can feel it. Or when I'm doing this and I'm showing her and I'm talking to her, she can feel my hand, she can feel the energy. So her and I are connected that way. It's pretty freaky stuff. It's beautiful, I should say, beautiful. It was freaky at first, but it's quite beautiful. And then there's Ashley, my eldest. She's a medium, so she's been working on towards her mediumship abilities too as well. So her and I, so for instance, we were connected for a missing person, and then her and I would be on the phone talking to each other and doing a lot of drawings, right? So I have books around with me, and I do drawings of what we see. And she does the same thing too. So what I draw, we're talking, and when she comes over and then we kind of go over what we showed, she shows me what she drew, what she saw is almost the exact same thing what I drew in my book. So the connections is there. It's just working and building up on it with your kids. So that's why I say you're going to be leading by example, because you have this knowledge now that you're able to move forward.
Yes.
Helping. Right? Isn't that beautiful?
Yes.
Absolutely. And curiosity, when you're curious, it's going to happen. When you're just that curious, you just know you're meant for this. You know you're meant for this. Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Well, any other questions?
I have one question.
Yeah, sure.
In dreams, do you see faces? Because I know in dreams, when I dream, I don't see like someone who's passed on's face.
Yeah, I do. With my brother, it was very difficult. So with David, who passed on in 2007 in a car accident, it took a long time for me to see his face. And it was part of my belief at that time too as well. But in dreams, to answer your question, I do see faces. Yeah. When my brother passed on, I was sleeping in his kids' room. I fell asleep on the bed because we were working on the funeral arrangements and being up all night. I finally went to go lay down and take a nap in his baby's room. And then he came to me in the dream. We were both sitting on the floor. My back was against the door, and he came in as the child that I remember seeing him as. And I
Mhm.
have a photo of him in my living room as that child. And he came in and he goes, "Hi, Dolly, what you doing?" And I turned around. I said, "David." And I looked at him. I said, "Wow, you're so beautiful." I said, "But what are you doing here? You're dead." I said that to him in my dream. And then he went like this. And then he got up and he ran to the door and he stopped and he looked at me. And I looked, I said, "No, no, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. You startled me." And then I ran to the door. As soon as I ran to the door, he ran to the end of the hallway and he stopped again and he looked at me. I said, "Please, I'm sorry." And I was just reaching out like this. And then he took off. I went running to where he stood and he was gone in the living room. And then I woke up. So, for me, I carried that for such a long time, and it was so painful how I broke it to him in my dream, and it was so devastating, right?
Mhm.
So, in other words, him and I signed a soul contract for this experience. I found out later through my meditations and connecting with him, asking him questions because he comes to visit me all the time. Questions on why, what happened, why did that happen? I startled you, I scared you, and you didn't want to come show yourself to me. That was my belief. That was my belief. So he started showing up in my dreams with his hoodies on, with a mask on, and I can only see his eyes, but I would see him floating as this dark walking by me like this, like he didn't want to show. That was my belief. That's how I perceived him. Yet he was standing there smiling, waiting for me to see him. And so I had to do a lot of inner work to let it go. He said I could swear, but I don't swear. I don't want to swear. He's here, by the way. So it's quite amazing the journey that
It's
I've.
always with you.
He is always there, always with us. That's a good question. Same with your brother, always with you. So let's say that your brother, that you see him and you feel him when he comes in is when you need to see him, when you need to feel that confirmation again, and then you feel like he's gone. He's never gone. It's just like he'll step through a different type of veil to show you, "Hey, sis, I'm here. No, you got it. Chin up. We got you. We got you." And then he'll take a step back and it feels as though he's not there no more. He's always there with you. They only step in when you need them to, when you really feel like you need to bring them forward again. And then after a while, it's just as though, even as a medium for myself, I know he's always here, but he's only going to come in when I absolutely need him. So his curiosity today, that's why he's here. It's absolutely beautiful.
Interesting.
It
So you
is.
just started talking about him when he came through.
Yeah, it is that. So what I say, when you think about your loved one, it's instantaneous. They'll stand right beside you. They're there. Like, "Oh, hey, we're here. What's up?" Right?
Neat. That's good to know. I always didn't know. Because when my mom passed, I didn't know if she was around me. I don't feel her around me. I don't know.
Yeah, always around you. Only when you really need her, you'll feel her. She'll come through, right? But because you are on your life's path, they can't be in your energy and they can't show themselves to you all the time, because otherwise you're not doing the work that you came here to do. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
All right, on that note, we will end the questions there. I want to thank you. They were beautiful questions. I really enjoyed this one. I enjoyed this session.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I enjoyed it. It was a good learning experience for me.
Wonderful. Perfect. Expanding minds. Exactly
Yes,
what we need to do. Yeah. All right. I want to thank you, Michelle, for your time and your energy. Much love and light to you.
thank you.
Hi, Ganhada Medium here. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to support my channel, hit that subscribe button and click on the notification bell.